Good morning, guys. Johnny, Mr. Forex Fire. So we've had the inauguration of Trump yesterday. We still need to be a little bit careful because he's going to be signing orders over the next few days, without a doubt. So we're going to be price watching still before getting in proper live. Okay. There has been one separate day which I've already posted in the Discord, and I'll go over that in a minute. But for now, share the screen. Okay. So we're just doing the usual. We're looking for breakouts of the Asian session. We didn't get one here on the Euro GBP. Pair the CAD JPY, again, we're still stuck in the range of the Euro USD. Getting a bit of a breakout now, but it's still consolidated in there. We'll have a look at the GU, the G odd, sorry. Bit of a breakout at the moment. I'll just move this into here. G, GJ stuck in the range. GU getting a bit of a pull out. I'll just drop this in here. U card stuck in the range. USD JPY stuck in the range. U chef stuck in the range. Now, I said the other day I was going to start sorting a basket on this. I was really busy over the weekend, so I've not been able to do that. I will be looking to do it at some point this week. But let's have a little look at the drop downs at the minute. The Euro GBP. We can see we've got a high breakout down to a low. We're waiting for this to push back in. We've got separation candles, but we've not had to touch into the 50%. Separation candles are easy to identify. It's simply when you start getting a pullback from the swing point, you need candles to be contained within a fish tank area, as I call it. So this is the equilibrium and this is the bottom of the tank. Nothing's broken and nothing's touched the surface. Okay, simple as that for the separation candles. So just wait for a touch into this. Again, that geode, we'll be waiting for, like I say, if we've came up, made a low from an Asian high, come into 50%. We've broken the Asian low, so we'll be waiting for something a bit like that today on this. Again, on the GU, similar sort of preference, albeit this is a little bit weaker. There's not much broken through here. Again, from this aspect, we've come out of where it's been the New York PM session. Asian has dropped, making a low, made an Asian high. We've come back in and then went 50%. We've broken, so we're just going to see if we can get that sort of reaction from there. There is a true day open from yesterday, which was not mitigated into. The other factor, which is a bit iffy for me, is this here. We've got a lot of imbalance below here. So there's every reason why this may want to sort of even push further down into this, before then taking off. So we just got to keep an eye on that as well. The Euro odd this morning, there was a trade set up. I did this a little bit earlier. As I got up, we had the Asian coming to make an Asian high, down back into the low, into 50%. And then we touched down to the Asian high to the low, touched into 50%. There was an entry pre-London session. We went into the separation candles on the 5 minutes. We clearly see all those separation candles there. We then looked for an entry after the 50% touch. 50% touch because you're looking for a sell. You're waiting for a bullish candle followed by a bearish engulfing. There's the bullish, there's the bearish engulfing. You just got to get used to seeing these candle structures and setups. We come in, we have a look, we touched into 50% after retracing to the entry. There's the 50% touch of the 1%, but then we price dropped into the 2%. So there's a 2% winner there the day. However, we can see that is true day opening. There's targets down below where after the 2%. So you could see if there was a possible further target as well, like the New York AM session, because the true day open was a little, there's the true day open there. So if I was to set this up again and see how clone this onto here. Just get this bang on where it should be, 499. There we are. You could be targeting down to there for a 1 to 411. We'll see if the target comes down to here as well. Okay. Other than that, that's around about it at the moment. We'll go back through what we've got here. So we'll put these into the orange state of play. We're still waiting for the touch into the 50%, which is around about here. Haven't done it yet. We'll set an alert. Again, make that orange. We'll look at the G odd. Let's get the fibs set up on this. Again, not enough strength for me at the minute. G U. We have had the sweep out, albeit just a little one. And again, I'm sort of not liking that at the moment. It's too weak at the minute, so I'm just going to leave that as it is, and I might even do that. I might try and get an aggressive on the G odd, to be fair, but we'll leave the GU alone at the minute. So far, we've got 2% winner, and again in the Discord, we share these in the Discord. To be fair, like I said, I was doing the setups of what was happening with this from an aspect of what it's done so far. So pause the video, I'll be back in a short while. Right, so like I said, this one on the G odd, it's a little bit of an aggressive move. We haven't had a huge amount, although we did get a displacement come back in that was engulfing. We are just about to get an engulfing buy from a sell position, which is what we'll wait for. There's a couple of things you could do with this. There's an entry there, guys. So that's an entry on that candle. Just put this below here and put this here. There's the true date open. It's just below the 1 to 2. So what we'll do is we'll just put that on the true date open, to be fair. So it's just under a 2%. We would normally go for 2%. Or in fact, should we just do the 2%? It's only just a little bit higher, to be fair. There's a 1 to 2. And see if we get an entry on this as well. We did get set up for separation. We had that on that candle there. Let's see what we get from here, guys. Again, the Asian high. You could have an Asian high set up. So we just clone that from there. We'll put this into here. 5-8. That looks to be the same. The Asian high is all the way up there. So there's a possible of a 1 to 5.41 as well. Let's see what happens with that. We'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while, guys. Okay, guys. So unfortunately, that G odd struck us out. It just wicked out here, but it's starting to head in the right direction now. So it is what it is. There is a good 2% that we got from the Asian break from the previous day, and why that was taken. Sorry, do apologise. Tired. It's a 2%. I did look at this to see if it could come back down into that Asian. I should say New York low if the high was taken, and that one would be worth 1 to 4.11. So we'll just see if that'll happen. Everything else was range bound today, to be honest. You can say he was stuck in a range. Euro JPY stuck in the range. Euro USD. We broke out, so we could anticipate a move back in towards, but Again, we've got all this imbalance here, so I'm not too happy about that one. Stuck in the range in GJ, UCAD stuck in the range, USD GPY stuck in the range, and we've just started breaking out of the US dollar Swiss franc. So we could watch this, to be fair, but time's getting on as well. We can also see here we're not getting any pullbacks into the 50% on the EG, sorry, the EG, the Euro GBP. And again, I did say we'd probably come lower into this in balance before we push higher up as well. So there's nothing much happening this morning. We've got to remember the inauguration of Trump was yesterday. So he did do a lot of stuff yesterday, but I do believe the New York sessions where the volume's going to come in. Oh, TV, I am totally late night. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to give this about another 40 odd minutes, see if anything produces itself. If it doesn't, we'll just call it for this morning, and we'll just class it as everything's range bound. 2% has been done. There could be a possible to get that to 4%. Okay. A couple of things that we have been watching, but I'll keep an eye for the next 45 minutes. If nothing appears before 11 o'clock, then we'll just call this session off for now. But again, it's still a winner, dear. I'll be back in a short while. Well, it looks like we got just here wicked out. It's going to hit 2% on the GBP order as well. In fact, it is just about there in all fairness. So we just got wicked out. By about 1.5 pips. So maybe we should have had a bit of a cushion on here by another pip or so. So just here got wicked out. It has gone to do 2%. I did have this SL bang on the bottom of the swing rather than a bit of a cushion. So normally I do have a bit of a cushion. So this could have been a successful trade in all fairness. It's a shame that. But again, the bias and the direction was spot on, to be fair. It is what it is. And we'll see how we go to see if it actually goes up to that 5.25%. I'll just download that. I'll be back in a short while, guys. The euro odd at the moment, it's pulled back. It has hit the 2%, remember, which is what we need. It has started to pull back. This one did have a further interested target of a 4% or just over 4%. Be back in a short while, guys. But we do have, or we could have had a 2% here if I'd had that cushion on underneath this a bit more. It is what it is. We'll see what happens later. Right, so I think I missed this one, guys. I mean, obviously, we've out of the Asian high and all these other key areas, we've come down and then touched into this area here. Okay, so again, crosshair, that's the high here. Okay, crosshair down here, that's the low there. Wicked to wick, retracement back into 50%, where you can see where this wick went to. Okay, that's up here. So we've got the separation candles across there, all caught within the equilibrium of the range. Okay, so then you're looking for a sell, so you're looking for a touch, and then you've got a bullish followed by a bearish engulfing. So you possibly could have gotten in around about here and knock these along here. You could go to a 1 to 2. Now this is where we need to sort of test some stuff. Okay, I'm not liking this trade because of the price action at the moment. It's just meandering about, So again, we're not in on these live. Not in on these live. I'm just simply marking things up to see how the mechanics are. But again, you can see from this liquidity high and the little bit of cushion there, you've got liquidity here residing along this area here. Okay, so again, you could take it from that with a bit of a cushion. And like I say, do a 1 to 2 down to here, that's a bit more of an aggressive move, but you would have had at least a take partial by now. But as I say, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking to do the conservative approach, which is to the origin, which is the swing high. Okay, and again, swing low. The chances are you would be in and out and getting the trade boxed off a lot quicker. Okay, but I'm just going to keep that live and open. If it feels, it feels. If it wins, it wins. It's just we need to start getting some further outlooks, not just on the normal pairs of the US, the GU, the EU, and the UJ and the UCAD. These here are trades that I don't normally take on assets. So again, as we normally do, we normally turn these ones pink. So just as a run back, we've got the euro odd. We were coming into the session and we doing it from an aspect of a breakout from that Asian, from the New York previous. It touched into 50% just before the London Open. So we took it from that. Nice 1 to 2, low hanging fruit. The G odd again. Setup mechanics was all spot on, but I didn't cushion it properly. I put it bang on the bottom of the liquidity here, and you can see it wicked out, just wicked out. But it did go to the 2%. So if I had cushioned this a little bit, we possibly could have had another banging trade of 2%. And then, of course, I've got this test one where we broke out of the New York PM session during Asian. We come back into swing into the New York PM, and then we went to break the Asian high, creating the London morning pre-market into a high here. And then we come straight down into the next candle of the 15 minutes, creating a low there. And then from there, we can see the touch happened bang on right there, the 50%. We go at the 5 minute, we can see within that criteria of this here, there is separation candles there. And then on top of that, we are looking for the bullish followed by a bearish engulfing. Well, that's a bullish doji because it's coming up and it was a bullish candle here, and then we immediately engulfed the price down. So this would be the entry point here. Been a little bit of profit, but we're just hovering around the break entry point at the minute. We could technically have an area where if there was an entry, okay, I'm just going to put this here, you could have had that just above this here, and you certainly could have had a 1 to 2, put this above here. So you could have had a 1 to 2 there. That's not the entry there, man. The entry was down here, wasn't it? The entry's down here. 429. Let's see here. The 1 to 2 would have been around about there. So would this have given a 1%? Yeah, most certainly. So the aggressive approach would have given you a 1% on that setup there, going above the inside leg. So again, as we come down, market structure shift from here, break, market structure shift, come back up into 50% of this fair value value gap, took liquidity again, and they've just been residing along a consolidated area. Again, we've taken liquidity here and here. We've flagged back in to, again, fair value. This is a fair value gap as well. And our price is starting to react a little. So again, aggressive move could have been a 2% here. I should say 1% out of a 2% aggressive move. But the conservative approach where we're going from the swing highs of the sessions, we're looking at 1 to 2 here. And again, just bouncing on the entry level. So I'm just going to pause the video and be back in a short while. Right, okay, guys. So I'm going to give you my conclusion for today. Okay, with regards to the GU, there wasn't enough movement. I do believe it's going to come down into here before we're going to get a move. I'm not going to wait on it because we're heading into the crossover as we come out of the London volume of the session open. We're heading into 11 o'clock. I don't want to be on the charts till after 11, trying to see if we can find an entry on it. So it'll be like a time allowance window is surpassed. With that being said, we'll go through the ones that have done something. The Euro odds, again, we were looking at it from an aspect of the Asian broke out of this here, which was all the New York stuff in London from yesterday. We come back down then 50% of the Asian as the Asian ended. This was the reason I've sort of looked at it from this aspect. And then we looked at the entry coming from inside of the start of the London. We got that. We had the separation candles. We got the 1 to 2% winner. We did mark out some of that will possibly go to 4%. It looks like it's not going to do that, but the 2% was there. The GBP odd again. We come out and we swept out of the Asian and New York's of the other day, but we also swept out of the Asian low, creating the pull back in. We had one little separation candle inside of this on the pull back in. So then we looked for the entry. The entry came in the form of this here. Okay, as we come back and touched 50%. Selling candle, bullish engulfing straight after it. Entry was there. The downfall on this is I had to stop just on the swing of this here. If I'd cushioned this like I do with all the others, like I normally do, we would have had a 2% winner. Again, it surpassed the 1%, it went past the 2%. It is what it is. So again, that would have struck out based upon what I marked up. But if the cushion was there, would be in for another winning one this morning. There is a higher target that I would have been interested in, which is 5.41%. Anything happens on these, I'll be updating these inside of the Discord. Again, I'm not going to stay on and keep monitoring this. It's done the low hanging fruit side. So yes, it struck out because of the lack of cushioning on here, but we could have easily had, if I followed what I normally do, we could have had 2% on this and then 2% on the Euro odd, so again, we take it as it is. I will update the people that are inside the Discord that support what I do. They'll be able to see if this goes to the 5.4 at some point later on today, okay? But that's it for this morning's session. Wasn't expecting much simply because we had the inauguration of Trump yesterday. I do believe there's going to be a lot of volume today, though, coming into New York. So I think Trump is going to come out and give some more speeches and so on. So expect some volume coming into later on today. Okay, guys, my name's been John, Mr. Forex Fire. Catch us later.